Voice in the media. Please welcome Bishop E.W. Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. On September 17, 1787, Ben Franklin walked out of the Constitutional Convention and met a woman who asked him one of the most famous questions in American history. She said, "Well, doctor, what have you given us, a monarchy or a republic?" And he gave one of the most famous answers in American history. He said, "A republic, if you can keep it." My brothers and sisters, we have gathered together in Colorado Springs tonight to say that America is not an accident of history. America is not a nation of political happenstance. America is a providential nation ordained by Almighty God, and this constitutional republic will be maintained. We're going to keep it. And she asked the right person, because on June 28th of that same year, when they had been 5 weeks discussing the Constitution and had come to an impasse, Ben Franklin stood up and said, "The longer I live, the more convinced I become of this truth, that God governs in the affairs of men. And if a sparrow cannot fall from the sky without his knowledge, is it possible that an empire can rise without his aid?" He said, "We are assured in the sacred scriptures, unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain that build it." He said, "I believe this, and I am convinced that without his concurring aid, we will be no more successful in this political building than they were in building the Tower of Babel. And therefore, I'm calling for prayer every morning before we begin our proceedings. And as a result of the prayers of our founding fathers, they birthed the most successful governing document in the history of mankind." The same God we called upon then, we are calling upon now, because the sacrifices that they made in pledging their lives and fortunes in sacred honor, and the sacrifices so many have made who have given their lives before us, veterans who have fought and bled and died for us, lets us know that the same God who saved America then is available to save America now. I stood in the Marine Corps office and took an oath in August of 1970 to the Constitution of the United States to preserve, protect, and defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That oath never had an expiration date. And I'm here to say to you today, we were making a sacred covenant, and we all share in it, that we will pass on to our posterity, our children and grandchildren, a nation that is as free and as prosperous and, yes, as great as the nation that our founding fathers bequeathed to us. And so, my brothers and sisters, I say, as I prepare to close, we have come to a momentous moment, as Bonhoeffer reminded us, that unless the church wakes up, unless the church stands up, unless the church takes its place, no society can survive. America cannot survive without us. And so I ask you to take this pledge, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the situation. If we have to be the last people, we Christians, standing up for that flag, that we will do it, and we will do it across all racial and cultural and denominational lines. We will stand for that Constitution. We will stand for that flag. We will stand for this nation, because we know that if God be for us, who can be against us?